This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Very Hard to Submit. Go to vhtsny.com and check out their kimonos, compression gear, and apparel. This is a brand we are excited to be supported by. Their gear is high quality with a clean design. Go to vhtsny.com and see for yourself.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Grappler Union podcast. Javier Palomo alongside Anthony Zito. Our guest today is Devhonte Bones Johnson from Unity BJJ in New York. Devhonte is a black belt under Murilo Santana. Enjoy.
I hate the 6 minutes. That's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You told me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life. All right, we're live. Devhonte.
Hello.
Bones.
How you doing, bro?
Dude, what's up with that? Who gave you bones?
All right, everybody asks me about this because of John Jones
of course,
and all that stuff. But honestly, I used to train at Edson Carvalho's, and just a few of my teammates just kind of like started calling me Bones. They kept saying I look like him.
Okay.
And
I mean, like a little, but
because you're tall and black? Is that why they said that? That sounds pretty racist. What the fuck?
took it right there, did you?
Well, I'm just saying.
man, it's hard to say.
It's like,
you know?
what are you guys trying to say?
I don't know. I guess a lot of it had to do with when I started as a white belt. I had a pretty as far as the people in our network, at least, I had I started off pretty quick, I guess you would say.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
pick things up fast.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So they're probably John Jones was like at his height back then, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, he had
so they're like, that's the phenom. This is our phenom.
Right.
pretty much that's what I think it was, kind of type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just kind of stuck. You know, I didn't really think, in 7 years or 6 years, I think it's like 6 years I've been training, like 6 years, you know, you're going to be a black belt and people are still going to be calling you Bones and asking you why you have John Jones' nickname. And I didn't, I just kind of was like, whatever.
Right. Maybe they're set up for a super fight, Bones versus Bones.
Bones on bones violence.
Bones on bones.
Who
It could
knows?
happen. I mean, I know he's supposed to come back to the UFC soon.
I'm actually happy about that.
Are you?
It's good.
You're happy?
Yeah. I've been a huge John Jones fan. I mean,
would you be happy to fight him in jiu-jitsu?
you're not going to get me to call him out, but
Well, I'm not saying.
No. Zito has been trying to set up a Bones Jones versus a Gordon Ryan super fight for a number of years now. He has no actual ability to make it happen, mind you. He just really wants to see it.
No, and Gordon Ryan. So I created this Instagram. The Instagram post, and Gordon Ryan picked it up and he reposted it. Like, hell yeah, I'm in on this. You know.
Yeah.
And that was before I even realized that John Jones just got his blue belt, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Gordon Ryan.
That's a rough blue belt there.
It is a rough blue belt, but depending upon the rules, you can't throw John Jones in the IBJJF. He'd get smoked.
Would he?
I think so. John Jones, yeah, for sure.
Right, but in some other tournament format.
I don't know. You
maybe.
never know. Maybe he could
He can adapt.
ADCC maybe?
ADCC,
Yeah.
A lot of good
that might
wrestler
be
guys that transfer over and do decent. I don't know if he'd win, but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I just like to see those high level guys.
You know something,
in there.
especially too, because ADCC is all about takedowns,
Right.
and I would imagine that's a hard guy to take down.
Well,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Without a cage, too.
Exactly.
How are you going to do that?
Daniel Cormier agrees.
Yes.
Good luck taking
There
that
you
guy
go.
down. You know what I mean? So
Right.
ADCC might be
That would be
a
good.
good rule set for him.
Have you done ADCC?
No, I'm actually going to do my first ADCC trials next month, I think.
Oh, yeah? It's
November
coming
3rd.
fast.
Nice.
So
You excited
should
about
be
that?
fun. Yeah. It'll be the first time I think I've ever fought under ADCC rules.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, no, it'll be the second time. But I've never done trials, and for whatever reason, whenever I wanted to do the trials, I was either injured or doing something else around that time. So it never really worked out. So now I'm trying to stay healthy and make sure. I haven't really I have a super fight coming up on October 27th for Fight to Win that I'm doing.
Nice.
Versus Nick Calvanese. But other than that, I actually haven't booked, like I haven't decided to do any tournaments just so I can make sure that I'm healthy for that.
Makes sense.
So,
Man, I do that too, where it's like, you know, like I'll have something big coming up, and there's this part of me that really wants to, you know, stay active and have like tune-up fights and whatnot. And then there's the other part of me who's like, no, I don't need to get risk an injury, you know. So
you know something? I train with guys. Like every day of pro training is probably tougher than most of the tournaments.
a lot of competition. Yeah.
You know that I could probably think of. So like there's no need for me to. I never even think about doing like tune-up stuff. It's just like, all right, this is the goal for the year.
Right.
Normally in the beginning of the year, I kind of know what I'm gonna do. Like I already know what I want to do next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I just stick aggressively to the plan. You know, because that's how I feel like, at least for me, that's how you stay focused, because you're not like, you don't have a goal and then, you know, you're 3 weeks into that goal and you're like, oh, that looks really cool, let me do that.
Yeah,
and then try to get back on the goal, because then you're just not focused. That's not discipline. You know what I mean? But I felt like, for me at least, if I set these goals, these checkpoint tournaments and stuff like that, and I just do them, and even though cool stuff comes up, I say, nope, I gotta focus on this. Makes
sense.
You know, I normally have a more productive year, you know, because when you try to do too many super fights and you're training in the gi and you're trying to do EBI, for example, and stuff like that stuff, like it just takes you off the focus, and it's hard to like
Bring it on back.
Exactly. In my experience, at least.
No, that's a smart way to be. Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked recently about, you know, the difficulty of training for too many rule sets, or specifically, actually, I think we focused a little bit more on, like, as a coach, dealing with multiple athletes, doing, you know, multiple different rule sets, and the challenges that can create sometimes in the room of trying to get everyone prepared for everything individually.
Yeah, 100%.
But speaking of room, you're in a hell of an awesome room. Actually, you got some real high quality training partners. I imagine you've got some guys we haven't even heard of that are real solid. But
yeah, man, from top to bottom, even the blue belts.
That's how you know you're in the right place, right?
Yeah, man. No one's safe there. It's either eat or get eaten.
Yeah. Recently adopted Eddie Cummings, right?
Yeah.
He's now training with you guys. How's that been?
It's been cool. It's been cool. He gives a different vibe. He's devastatingly good at heel hooks. And,
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. You know, I guess he's brought like as a team, we've been like working on, you know, developing that part of our game, and he just brings a different perspective on things, and it's been pretty cool to train. He's a nice guy,
very nice guy
too. So it's been a fun experience.
Well, he's definitely going to elevate that room for sure, as much as it already is elevated. But he's going to bring a whole new focus for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I just took one of his seminars here in Chicago, and just what I thought my ideas were. And then when he was talking, I'm like, wow, that's a different way of going about it, and it makes sense. Even though I couldn't do exactly what he was trying to explain, I'm like, it's going to take a little longer for me to get that motion and adjust my game to do that. But man, he's like a mad scientist.
It's funny you say like a mad scientist, because he is kind of like one of those guys who's like, even like the way he talks about jiu-jitsu is a very calculated, mathematical kind of,
right.
You know.
Yeah, well, he's got that actual science background. So normally when we talk about somebody being like a mad scientist, you know, in reality they're just like their day job is they flip burgers and their night job is they're crazy about jiu-jitsu. But no, actual scientist.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a science background.
Oh, there you go.
I can't remember how high he went in the educational system before dropping out and deciding to dedicate his life to jiu-jitsu, but yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't
John? Isn't like the guy John Danaher was like a
Danaher, if I remember, is a philosophy major.
Yeah,
so not exactly the hard sciences, but
academic
still.
guys coming into jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah,
terrifying, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, it's funny actually though, because Murilo, right? Like it's funny because you said like guys who like go to school and like they're actual scientists, but like then you have the guys who like are crazy about jiu-jitsu, eat a burger in the morning, and then like do jiu-jitsu all night. Like Murilo is like 24/7, like jiu-jitsu scientist.
Jiu-jitsu off.
Like I think that some college should actually like invent like a degree.
An actual degree?
An actual degree in this guy, because this guy is like the epitome of like a jiu-jitsu scientist.
Murilo is
my instructor.
Yeah. Did you call him professor or just Murilo?
Professor? Yeah. Sometimes Murilo. Yeah.
when I talk about, my teacher, my instructor, just Andre, he's
Right.
like, don't call me, it's Andre or Mineko or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Mineko's a good guy too. I like Mineko. But yeah, Murilo is not like he's not one of those like got you by the neck kind of guys.
Yeah.
As long as you're very respectful, it doesn't. I think everybody at the gym calls him Murilo, but like you respect him so much that you call him Professor too. You know what I mean? Like he's like I don't think he's ever had the need to like have like, hey, you addressed me this way kind of.
right.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because like I tend to address somebody based largely on how they were introduced to me.
Okay.
So like I work with Barry Phillips all the time, and he was introduced to me just as Barry. But like there's so many guys in the affiliation that only know him, like probably don't even know his last name, only know him as Professor Barry. So I'll be sitting there talking, and I'm like, yeah, me and Barry, and they're like taken aback. They're like,
Oh,
you addressed Professor Barry as just Barry. Like, sir, do you know what you've done?
right.
Yeah, but I'm for the most part way more laid back about that kind of stuff, and most of my coaches are.
It's weird when I teach our beginners class, and we'll have someone new come in, and and at the end of the class, we all clap it out, we all shake hands, and they'll say, "Thank you, Professor." I'm like, "Whoa, don't even call me," because they don't know. There's like whatever.
But different
They must have
affiliations
heard
use that term differently. Like some people reserve it exclusively for black belt, and others reserve, that's just professor as teacher.
Whoever's the teacher, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
What
But
rank are you?
purple belt?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that was the weirdest thing about getting a black belt. Actually, not even like getting the black belt. Getting the black belt was cool and all that stuff. It was like a wow, like kind of moment. But like I'm like teaching a seminar like the next week or something like that, and I'm just like everybody, or even class, and everybody's like professor. Like now everyone
Really?
is saying like I'm at this gym that like I don't even know these people. Everyone's professor. I'm like I have to like a bunch of seminars coming up the ranks, and like maybe one person even bothered to call me professor.
Right.
But now like everybody's going out of their way at this seminar to make it very known that they're calling me professor. I was just like, it almost seemed like a little bit weird. Like, all right, don't call me, just call me Bones or something.
Right. Do you have a comp belt and a regular black belt? With
Dude,
a red
actually,
stripe?
one of my students, like parents, was like, they were mentioning this to me actually because one day I had a belt with a red bar, the next day I had a belt with a white bar,
Right.
and the next day I had a belt without like out of bar because I have like three different belts already.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, where's your red bar?" And because I was wearing the white bar here, and I was like, I don't know. I don't remember where I put the belt, but I was like, "This is the belt that I'm wearing now." And then they're like, "Yeah, but you're a professor. You should be wearing that red bar." And I was like, whatever. Just whatever belt's like, within reach. I never really thought too heavily about stuff. But apparently, it's like a thing.
It is.
Like apparently certain stripes are on the end of the belt.
Yeah,
and stuff
signify like professor is like 2 white bars on each side, and then
Right. The
white
Valente
belt is
brothers did a fantastic breakdown of it on YouTube. If you ever want to look it up.
And I thought like the white bar one was for comp.
That's what I thought too.
That's what I thought, because I always see like Meow
Yeah.
Meow brothers are always wearing. That's the one they will. And I thought it was like a younger generation thing also. Like white bars were back in the day as well.
Apparently, the IBJJF didn't allow you to wear the red
white
bar or something like that.
Really?
So, or you had to cover the red bar. There's some reason why the guys had to tape the red bar.
Oh,
Right. This is what I think.
Okay.
Don't hold me to this.
I haven't heard that
Pretty
before,
sure.
so I might be wrong.
Yeah.
There's something about like having to tape the red bar.
okay.
Right. For whatever reason, and so most of the tape is athletic tape, the white tape.
Right.
So then like the newer companies just started
make it
making
white.
a white bar. Now I don't know how true that is, but that's what someone told me, and I was just saying.
I mean,
Okay, cool.
even if
Makes
not
sense.
true, that is a fantastic urban legend to start right here.
I mean, but it makes sense. I mean, I thought it
Right.
could hold some validity because it makes sense. And when I was a blue belt, I saw a lot of guys taping their red bar.
The red bar. Huh?
Yeah, especially if they weren't instructors. Now, I don't know the history behind it, but
Ain't a black belt yet. Don't have to worry.
especially,
Yeah,
and it's funny that you say the young guys because it would be the guys who just got their black belt. They tape it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, we had recently we had Hobson Moron, and his belt was pretty much white again.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It looked so cool. I'm like, damn, dude, that is gangster.
You know, it's funny.
So
Hobson is
gangster.
like one of my favorite jiu-jitsu like
Same.
old guys. Not old guy. He's not old, but like
He's
the
been in the
older
game.
generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was a white belt, he was like kind of like he was already like one of the like the well-known guys for like a while.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably towards the tail end of his career. Actually, I think.
Yeah, he
That
hasn't been
ADCC
competing
was
as
when
much, but yeah.
I think that was when I first heard about him. Was at ADCC, I think 2011 or 12.
Okay, yeah. Was that?
Could
God,
have been
did he
12.
go against
I think it was
Glover
12.
and Ryan Hall?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was this one.
Yeah.
Now I started jiu-jitsu after that one, but I remember buying. I think I bought it actually. This is how much of like a nerd I was about that stuff. I think BJJ something
Had it for sale. It was like
had
a
it for
DVD.
sale online
Yeah.
where you could watch. They still do because I do it every now and
You know,
again.
I think that was Budo Videos.
Budo videos.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
So you can go and buy these ADCCs that
Yeah,
happened a
sure.
while back, and that's what I was doing. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Like, this is so cool.
like staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning watching, Hobson Mora, Leo Vieira, Marcelo Garcia
Yeah.
tear and wreak havoc, and Jacare too. That's actually I became a big fan of Jacare watching those videos.
So what landed you over at Murilo?
Oh, well, I trained at Edson's, and I trained there for the first, I want to say, 3 years. Yeah. So I was training there for about 2.5, 3 years. And it was good, but it was just like a different kind of philosophy. You know what I mean? The guys were more recreational, more kind of towards like the older guys, and they were just looking to train just to train. You know what I mean? And I personally was at a point where I was like, man, like it's getting really tough to just kind of like, keep skating over. Like I felt like I was like pulling out victories, like I blue ball, and I wasn't even winning like the biggest tournaments, but I was just like, man, like I really need something to get me to. I could just feel like I can express it now, but I couldn't explain it then. I was like, man, there's something I need to do to get the bridge the gap. Right. And I was like looking into my training, and I was like trying to train more, and it just wasn't working, and I was like, man, I'm not smart enough to figure stuff out on my own. So I was like, I need somebody to do this for me, and
right.
Just the focus of the gym at that point in time wasn't on competition.
Right.
And I was like, I need to find some place where I can compete. And I actually wasn't like looking to leave. I was actually just looking to
Cross train?
Yeah, it's a cross train. So I went to Marcelo's a little bit.
How was
And
that vibe over there?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. It was hard training like normal. I don't think I like that they did no gi. They do the 50-50 no gi thing. Like Monday I think is gi, Tuesday is no gi.
You want it more like based on seasons, or
Actually, yeah. Like I like how like Murilo does it, where it's like we have the gi season, no gi season, but we have gi training at night all year round type of thing.
right?
Not saying that Marcelo's like schedule is like, there's a problem with that, because I think it's good that he has his guys training 50-50,
Right.
gi and no gi, because they're going to be able to do both gi and no gi. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I just noticed, like, even before I had any common sense about anything, as a blue, even like younger, I was like, man, like it would really have to suck to train gi no gi every other day, getting ready for Worlds for me, and because
you want your focus.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy that has to like focus really, really hard. So like I was like, I really like the guys. I actually did like the training there a lot, but I was like, maybe this won't be too great. And then my friend was like, dude, the Meow Brothers are opening up a gym, and Leandro's gonna be there, and there's this Murilo guy, he's gonna be there. And at that time, I like knew who Murilo was, and I definitely knew who the Meows were, but like I kind of didn't really know much about Murilo. And then I went over there and I met him, and I was like, dude, this guy's like the first class, I was just like blown away.
Yeah.
Because he's a mad scientist of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, just the way he taught, the way he
Some people
spoke about
some people
jiu-jitsu.
vibe wells with other, it's just
Yeah, and the dude is like a really good coach. Like he's like, I consider myself like not the brightest, tool in the shed. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So especially about jiu-jitsu, but like everything that he like spoon fed, I like to say.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to digest very easily. You know what I mean?
good.
I couldn't pass lasso guard when I came there. You know
Okay.
what I mean? And like, you know, in a few weeks, you know, this guy had like gotten me not only able to pass lasso guard, but I was like doing all this other crazy stuff.
Nice.
And then like from the first class, I think they gave me like a free week trial because that's what the special that they were doing if you come in. And every day I was there. I'll get there at like 10:30.
Get the most out of that free trial
I was
as you
getting
could.
there at 9:20 or 9:45 or something like that. I get breakfast and get there to the gym at 10:30. And I'd be waiting for them to open those doors. And then I'd come in, I'd just watch. I wouldn't even drill during the free drilling time because there's an hour to drill before pro training. I would just watch Murilo and the Meows drill.
Yeah.
Sitting in the corner.
How crazy is them are the Meow
dude.
brothers?
Dude, they're relentless.
Relentless,
And
huh?
back then, Iago was still there too. I don't know if you know about Iago D'Souza.
D'Souza, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, he used to beat me up every day. And but I loved it like that, like because I was getting like just mauled in there. Like I loved it, and not that I was getting mauled. It's just like I was like, I guess like information overload. You know what I mean? There was just so much amazing jiu-jitsu that I felt like I really could like I gravitated to the styles really well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like I could I'll be learning for years and I'll never know enough. Right. You know what I mean? Just off that first week. So I was sold.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it just kind of went to like me wanting to cross train to like, you know what?
This is where
I need to be.
Yeah.
And I even like stopped going to school actually because I was like in college at the time.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. And I was just like, you know,
Well, I haven't
I
done
wanted
anything.
to be a lawyer,
but so much for that.
yeah, so much for that. Now I am not advising kids to do this.
No,
Go
of
get
course
your
not.
degrees, guys.
Get your degrees.
Right. Well, you know, it's a hobby for some of us. For some of us, it becomes the lifetime, and for I think a relatively lucky few, it definitely is a good career path. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what the politically correct thing to say is about that. But I think for me, it's me personally.
Right.
It was huge to do something that I wanted to do.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I knew people who were wealthy, and I knew people who were like doing well, and I grew up poor, so so I already know how that boat went.
Right.
But like I had enough mentors and friends on the other end of the spectrum telling me like, always telling me, you know, getting a degree is great, getting a profession is great. You know, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, because I wanted to be either a veterinarian or a lawyer.
Okay.
And then I kind of decided like after when I graduated high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, and they were like, all that stuff is good, you know, you'll make a lot of money, but you need to make sure that it's something that you want to do.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I just kept, the more I went through college and the more I kept training jiu-jitsu, because I started jiu-jitsu senior year of high school.
How'd you even find jiu-jitsu?
I broke my hand, ironically enough, playing baseball.
Okay.
And
Playing baseball, you broke your hand? How did that happen?
well, you just get hit by a pitch and you
Oh, you
think
got
it's
hit.
nothing.
Okay.
And, you know, you think your hand's like a little bit swollen and, oh, I'll be fine. And you wake up the next morning and then your hand swells up, you know. So I got hit by a pitch and just had like a little fracture in my metacarpal. But it took a while to heal. It took like, you know, like 4-6 weeks to heal. Yeah. Actually, 4 weeks to get the cast off. And then after that, I was like, all right, I'm doing something, because I was like pent up, you know, like a lion pent up in a cage. And my doctor was like, you can't do baseball, you can't do boxing because of the vibrations. I mean, hitting something, shock and impact. Hitting a ball with a bat, it's a metal bat, the vibrations, it can break your hand again. Wow. So he was like, you need to do something that will not cause these kind of like reactions. And I was like, how about jiu-jitsu?
How'd you even know about jiu-jitsu?
Oh, well, because one of my friends, my boxing friends, actually pointed me into the direction of jiu-jitsu. Because he was like, yeah, it's great for your hands. Your hands get really strong and all this stuff. You know, and...
Definitely true, but like...
Yeah, but there's also a lot of damage there. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why it's so funny. Like, you know, that's why he told me to do it. But he's like, you're going to get really strong grips. So I went. He actually pointed me to Edson's gym at the time. And I went. And when I started, like, I was in. You know what I mean? I took like a 3-month period because I couldn't afford it for a little bit off. And then, like, I was right back to it. You know what I mean? Like, but I've been, like, and that after I came back, I was in like
Yeah,
100%.
just solid.
Yeah,
Right.
solid training all day. And I was like training at multiple gyms. I like wake up, go train in the morning, go to school, go train at Edson's, then go train somewhere else where they had late night training.
Right. Just trying to get it in as much as possible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of us
So-
know that life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's how I kind of like got started on
That's
jiu-jitsu.
cool.
But
I'm still, my brain is still currently rattled by the fact that your doctor's like, you got to do something safer than baseball or boxing, and he wasn't like pushing you towards like, I don't know, swimming or track and field or something. He's like, no, jiu-jitsu, that sounds fine.
I don't think anyone in the hood does swimming.
Well, all right.
I didn't even know swimming was like a high school or even like a college sport until I got into college, and I was like, oh, they do swimming as like it's a competitive sport.
Right.
No offense to any swimmers or anything.
Of course
like that,
not.
But
Of course
I just
not.
didn't know. I was like, this is like baseball, basketball, and boxing. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
football. Football's huge. Yeah. But I think my doctor didn't really know much about it.
Right. So he just like, he assumed it was safe.
Yeah, he was just like, no punching, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no punching, no hitting. And I was like, yeah.
Did you wrestle at all?
Never.
No.
And now
You regret it?
No.
Okay.
Like, I don't regret it to help my jiu-jitsu. I just regret it because like it looks, now that I know what it is, it kind of looks like something I would have fun doing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it because my uncle did it and he was telling me to do it.
Oh, so you were kind of rebelling?
Yeah, because he was good.
Right.
And he had all these trophies and like he had newspaper articles about him. And I was just like, and like my mom like would tell me all these stories about how he used to just truck guys like Matt Hughes style. And I'd be like, man, what if I go in there and I'm trash? You know what I mean? I don't want that kind of pressure. You're like 12, 13.
Right.
So did you have no one in the family that was like that was good at baseball? So you went for baseball?
Yeah.
There you go.
And something?
No expectations. That's
Dude,
it.
no
right?
expectations. And actually, I think, well, for me, a big thing too is like I went to like school in like a little Spanish neighborhood.
Okay.
And so like all the guys would like say like, oh, black people can't play baseball. And I'd be like, I'm gonna show you. Type of
Really?
thing.
They said that? That's weird.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause I don't
you
know
know-
any Mexicans that are really good at baseball.
Hey, now I don't either,
I'm
but
just
I don't
saying,
pay
in the
attention to
Spanish
baseball.
neighborhood.
Well, they have like, I'm pretty sure they have like professional leagues in Mexico.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
But I went to
Professionals
school
in
with
Mexico?
like a lot of like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans.
Okay. Well,
They love baseball.
of course, yeah.
So like, and like you coming onto their field is like, they're very possessive about it, So like, it was like me butting heads with them for a little
Right,
while.
right.
And then next thing you know, they're my best friends type of thing.
I see.
Right.
I think it was just kind of like that thing that like, I got this, so are you kind of
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? Go play basketball. That's what you guys got.
Oh, I see.
This is our thing. That's
Is
your
there-
thing. What are you doing?
I thought soccer was like a big thing.
Yeah, see, for me growing up, all of my Mexican friends were really actually quite embarrassed that I was Mexican because I was not good enough at soccer.
You were good at
I played
soccer,
soccer for years and was solidly
Horrible.
not great. No, not horrible.
horrible.
Just
not great.
Just not great.
Didn't
Very
live up
not
to
great.
the pride of.
Man, I'm slow as hell. I got to play fullback because I can be running around.
Right.
Yeah, no. I'll stay back here, play defense.
Right.
Slide tackle somebody occasionally because that was my move.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, I played soccer once,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the most humbling experience of my life.
Oh, really? Humble?
Not an
it's
easy,
humbling
not an easy
'cause
sport to
it's
just
like,
pick up.
Yeah, man. Like, if you don't start soccer when you're like 3, you're terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played soccer. I ran up and down fields. I used to play.
Congratulations on running up and
Thank
down
you.
fields.
No, but I used to play frisbee. Like, wait. Stay with me now. It's like you like frisbee. Like
Are
you
you
know,
going to say like just back and forth playing frisbee
no.
or like disc golf? Are you-
No, not like disc golf. Devhonte.
Yeah, he's
It's like,
dying
what
over
the
here.
fuck is this? I'm like, so we would basically like play frisbee like you would football. You throw the frisbee, you have to run, and you have to tag the guy with the
I am
frisbee. and start.
unfamiliar
You
with
never
this
played
very-
frisbee like this?
No.
Are you serious? Come on, I can't be the only one.
You are the only one in this room.
Devhonte, you never heard of this? They don't play this in the hood. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No,
He's like, hell no. Fuck, what did I just walk into?
play frisbee.
You can play frisbee like tag frisbee and like
Zito,
The only
I
frisbee game I know is like Can Jam or something like that.
frisbee. This is a real thing. I'm telling you, it's.
I believe
Anyway,
it.
so that's my only experience being on like a soccer field.
And running up and down
run
it?
up and down it. I've never actually,
Did you
ran
find
around.
it exhausting?
It was very exhausting, just to run up and down that giant field.
Dude, yeah,
it's
I gotta
crazy.
do
Doing that hours a day in the summer sun.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what's like worse? Like, I don't know if it's worse, but I can say I have a lot of respect for tennis players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I remember watching. Like, I got into tennis actually because Serena and Venus. You know, I was
Because
like,
they're hot. Is that why?
nah, dude.
Or
I
it's
was
'cause
like,
they're
man,
good?
she was like. They're like the only two like African American people that I know like saw in like tennis. And I was
Right,
like,
right.
what? Like
Right.
like people like we play tennis. Like,
This is the thing.
So I was like, yeah, man, I'll watch them, and they were good.
Yeah, they're
Very
And,
good.
Man, I remember like Venus had like this game that lasted like 4 hours long, and I was like, how is this woman doing this?
Incredible.
Like how? Like she was like playing. I want to say Maria Sharapova, I think her name. I could completely be botching this name, and I'm sorry if I am, but it was like one of those like chicks. I think she was like they were like fighting for number one, you know, like in the world at that point at Wimbledon, I think. And it was like the most epic match I've ever seen.
I didn't know they can go that long. 4 hours.
I don't know if it was, I might be exaggerating
but
4
I mean,
hours, but it was like long. I remember it was a long
match.
game.
I don't
And
understand the
just-
scoring of tennis. That baffles me a little bit.
I still don't
We
understand. the
barely
scoring.
understand the scoring of half the jiu-jitsu matches we talked
True.
about, so we should probably definitely stay out of the scoring of
Yeah.
tennis.
Dude, all,
it's
all I
odd-
know
it's
is
odd
that
thing.
like after like an hour and some change, they're like drenched in sweat and they're
Yeah.
still going ham, and they're like beaming in that ball. And I think like they were like saying that like like I think Serena Williams has like one of the strongest serves,
Yeah.
like in like history or something like that. And I was like, man,
You
like,
don't want to get hit by that.
I couldn't imagine running around back and forth like that, hitting with such precision.
Yeah.
Too, and like the reaction time must be.
And they're
like,
putting
ridiculous.
like English on those on
Dude,
that too.
yeah, man.
They're like English. There's a whole thing to the racket and the way it hits, and it's
man.
incredible.
And like I remember. So after I started watching the girls, because I started watching women's tennis first because of Venus and Serena. I started watching the guys, because I'm a guy. So I was like, oh, I wonder what the guys look like. And you got like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer like going at each other,
Yeah.
and Djokovic, I think Novak Djokovic, I think his name is, and that guy's a savage too. So I know surprisingly a little bit about tennis because like I was like watching it a lot for like.
Right.
But nothing about frisbee.
No.
No, you're alone here,
I
man.
wish I could help you with frisbee.
All right,
But like
all right.
tennis is an underrated sport in terms
It
of
is.
difficulty. Because I was like so inspired after watching like those matches. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could try tennis.
You got
And I
out
was
there
in,
and you're like,
high
this
school.
this doesn't look that hard.
No,
Let me try
I didn't
it
even
out.
like think that this didn't look that hard. I was just very optimistic
Okay.
about playing tennis. I was like, man, I really want to try it.
Yeah.
And I get on there and I was like already playing baseball at that time. So like I had like this
swing,
tendency to swing upward, like like
Okay, yeah.
not even just upward. You're just trying to drive everything in the air. Right. At that point, when you're a kid in high school, you're trying to hit bombs. You know what I mean? So like I just remember getting on the court and I could not. And the guy's like trying to teach me how to swing. I had a friend who like played tennis actually, and he's like trying to teach me how to swing, and I'm like, dude. I keep hitting everything into the street. And he's like, this is
No
so
finesse,
normal.
huh?
Yeah,
No finesse.
dude,
You're just, like,
straight
crushing it.
Crushing it. And he's
You
like,
should have started with like Batman or something.
dude,
Hit it
you
as
know what
hard.
we started to do? We actually had to like just like practice like popping it. Like,
Oh, really?
Like
Just-
so like I would like
Bounce it up and down, like?
up and down
Yeah.
on the racket
To kinda get the
and
feel.
then to kind of get a feel for it, and all I had to do was just like bounce it to like hit it softly to him, so like I could like try to like understand like controlling your own
Right.
strength type of thing, and like
Yeah.
and then we worked up from there, but I was still terrible, so bad. I was like, man, like this is amazing that these people are so good at like
Right.
something that looks so not that crazy,
Right.
but then when you get in there, you're like, wow, like
Yeah.
you really appreciate. Like,
Yeah, I'm not like by any means like a gifted athlete in terms of like how quickly I pick up new physical skills and whatnot. But every once in a while, I'll run into something and I look at it and I go, "Oh, that doesn't look that hard. I could probably do that." And then I actually try it, and I'm like, "Oh no, I was really wrong. This is actually quite difficult." My most upsetting one with that was the first time I tried rock climbing. Having never done anything except go like straight up and down a wall with I'm sorry, I misspoke. I had tried rock climbing before. The first time I tried bouldering.
Bouldering.
Yeah. So straight up and down a wall with the harness and everything. Had done that before. Didn't think it was that difficult in the grand scheme of things. Climbed many a tree in my day. I'm like, I'm part squirrel, no problem. try bouldering for the first time. I'm like, this is incredibly difficult and exhausting. I thought I had a good grip. My hands are apparently soft. Yeah.
Dude, that's
yeah,
like
tough.
one thing that I've been trying to like figure out how to increase grip strength. I was like,
That's definitely a way.
yeah, dude, the rock climbing is like ridiculously hard too.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
My most embarrassing experience with trying things like you just said, or like you see it and like you're like, oh, this is like easy. Like I can probably do this. I did skateboarding.
Okay.
Because you remember how like Tony Hawk used to have those like Hawk skater. I think
Yeah.
I forget the name of the games for PS2.
Yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
think it was.
Pro Skater.
Pro Skater.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's
yes,
what it
yes,
was.
yes. So I saw Pro Skater and I was like, man, I could do this. I could be like, I could be like another Tony Hawk in 10 years, 20 years. And so I had my grandfather buy me a skateboard. And oh my God.
What kind did you
Never-
get? What was your first?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember.
It's like just a regular generic skateboard, I'm pretty sure.
Walmart brand skateboard. Got it.
I think it was like Models or something. But I know that I actually spent like a lot of time trying to like study how to like, I
Do
forget
stuff?
the name of the
Ollie or
Think-
kickflip or
I tried to do that, and like the one where you start with the board on your feet and you kick up.
Yeah.
And you jump. That's like
Yeah,
the first trick
it's like
that
the
everybody
easiest, right,
learns.
right, right.
I think I brought a book on it actually, and
you bought a book. You're
Yeah,
a generation of not buying books. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, I mean, you had iPhones and internet. You bought a book.
No, dude. No.
No.
I didn't get an iPad until I was like 19.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and someone gave it to me. I didn't even buy it myself.
So you went out and bought a book on skateboarding.
Yes.
Impressive.
Well,
like
I was like, actually, since I was a kid, I've like always been like somewhat of an avid reader. So
Nice.
like,
That's cool.
When I learned how to play guitar,
Yeah.
I bought a book.
You actually play guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually show me how to play the guitar out there? Why not?
Because it's been like 4 or 5 years since I've
Has
actually
it?
played a guitar.
But you could probably
so
still
I'm
strum.
probably
You could probably do
terrible.
some stuff.
I could definitely strum, but I'm not going to embarrass myself on this podcast. But
You embarrass yourself off the podcast.
Yeah.
We won't
Off
record
air.
that part.
Yeah.
But I bought a book on that. Like
Nice.
actually, if there was anything that I had to learn, I would always buy books. To
Cool.
learn, to like.
So how many jiu-jitsu books do you have?
Maybe I got Andre Caval's Drill to Win book.
That's a great one.
I think I
And
bought
that's
that.
super expensive now. If you ever look at it on Amazon,
Dude, I bought that book for like $5. I don't think I brought it. I think someone gave it to me at a Worlds one year.
Nice.
I think I was like talking to the dude who like had the stand, and he was just like, I was like telling him about like, I think at Blue Belt, like I forget who I saw Caval fight, and I was like, man, like gotta learn how to move like that.
right?
If I could move like that, I probably would have done better in my match. That's pretty much what I think I was telling the guy. And the guy probably felt so bad that he was just like, here, take this book. I don't remember how it actually went down. But I just remember I got a free Andre Caval book.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good book. I actually went through like most of it because there's like drills and like a diet and stuff like that.
Nice.
That was like the only jiu-jitsu book I brought. But I would like read the magazines a lot. Like jiu-jitsu, I think it was Jiu-Jitsu Mag and Gracie Mag. I read them a lot. Actually, I think it was Jiu-Jitsu Mag because Jiu-Jitsu Mag would always have like post-Worlds, post-Europeans recaps.
see.
And I would always like to read that stuff. Especially like when like the Miaos and Keenan were a brown belt because they were like having all those wars and the absolutes. So it was like a pretty fun time to like read
Yeah.
like the magazines.
So you got the skateboard book.
Going back.
Try.
At,
Sorry, I'm a skateboarder, so I gotta. So you tried to flip on the board, and that was
Dude,
a huge fail.
Yeah, no, I got that down.
Oh, you did do that.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
And I used to be able to do the one where you hit the back and like hop on stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And like now, here is where my skateboarding career ended.
Okay.
Because I tried to learn how to grind.
Ah.
I guess you call it. That's what you call it,
Sure,
right?
grinding.
Yeah. So I tried to like. My house had this stone like. Yeah, you know how this is gonna. My house had this like stone. It wasn't even a house; it was just like the apartment that I lived in had this
Right.
like stone like. I guess you would call it like surrounding for the front lawn.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was high enough there. It was like 3 feet off the ground, maybe something like that. So I was like, all right, that's a pretty small, like,
Yeah.
like
Not too
like
far to
attempt.
fall.
It's not too far.
Right.
but not too high, not too low, but not too high. It's like it'll be a good, And I kind of measured it a few times. I was like, I can get about that high,
Right.
But I didn't take into consideration that it wasn't smooth.
No one ever does.
No, so I realized this afterwards that the skating parks, I guess you would call them
That's why we grind rails.
Yes,
Not only that, but they actually wax them too.
yeah.
Right.
So that
So
stuff
they're
is
prepped.
like designed to grind on.
Yeah.
And I did not put that together, and
Right.
so I got up there and I like went, straight onto the ground.
hit the brakes, right?
And dude, man, I was like cut up pretty bad, and I was like, the hell with this shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
No, you're fine.
Hitting the ground sucks.
I was like, what? Tony Hawk deals with this crap? Like, now this is exactly why I see why he has that helmet and all those like knee and elbow pads.
Right,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, it's
And I was
brutal.
like, I was done. I was like, after that, it's like, no more trying to be Tony Hawk. I'll just play video games.
Oh, you went to video games.
Yeah, no,
I play his video games.
Yeah, I'll just
yeah.
play his video
Yeah.
games. Like, I'm done.
Definitely safer.
Done trying to do that nonsense.
Yeah, I watch the videos now because I love skateboarding, but I'm more of a longboarder now. I'm not doing tricks anymore. I'm too old for that. But I watch videos and I'm like watching these guys, like, they're just to do one trick, just to land. Like the whole point of doing a trick is to land it and roll away. But as the attempts of doing it, and they're just going at crash. It's just like
1,000 crashes for one landing.
For one land, and then that's it. You never go back to that trick because you landed it. You're done. Move on. It's like, wow, man, that seems crazy now to think about. But that's what we used to do.
I haven't skated since I was like probably 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
But the thing that shocks me in my mind, because, like back then we were all self-taught. Like you wanted to learn a trick, you'd find somebody else that knew how to do it, and hopefully they could actually articulate what they were doing, or you just watch it over and over again on a VHS tape with the actual rewind and whatnot.
Right.
But what shocks me now, thinking back about it, is almost every other athletic endeavor that I've done where you're going to make a heavy contact with the ground, at some point somebody pulls you aside and is like, all right, this is how you fall. like
No one does that in skateboarding.
Parkour, we're going to teach you how to tuck and roll right away. All the martial arts, that we're going to teach you at least, don't post your hand out or whatnot. Skateboarding is just like, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that. Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely no teacher in that.
Dude, it's funny that you say that you do it 100 times, crash and burn, just for one land. I don't know if you guys ever there was a phase in my life where I was like into like yo-yos.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
I like a yo-yo now and again.
Dude, so like
I'm a fan.
yeah, I actually think that I saw it in like one of those, like, how like they used to give out those old news flyers, just like, dupe kids into making their parents buy all these expensive toys.
Okay.
So like I saw a yo-yo in there for like $6. So I saved up my $6 because my mom was not buying that for me. Okay. And I got myself a yo-yo, and I was like trying to do all these like tricks, and I could never land the darn tricks. And then I 7 years later, I realized I was like 6, and then like 7 years later, I'm like 13. I realized that there's different types of yo-yos.
Yes. Right.
So like there's yo-yos just to screw around, and then there's yo-yos to like do tricks with.
Right.
Like you need a good yo-yo to do tricks, and I'm like, why can't it just be all yo-yos?
Right.
Do tricks, you know what I mean? So like I immediately, once I found this out, I'm like, I gotta get a yo-yo.
Yeah.
I gotta go try and do these tricks, like walk the dog and all that stuff. And then like I was mind blown that like all the tricks that I thought I was really terrible at doing, I just had the wrong yo-yo.
Right.
I had this like cheap little dollar store yo-yo that like it didn't even like roll back up.
Right.
I thought that I was messing that up. Like, how could I be messing up? Just like I can't drop it down and pull it back up, 5 times without it getting caught up, and like it'd be like in like 50 knots.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, I thought it was me.
Right.
And then I find out all this stuff about yo-yos, and then I'm like, there's competition and stuff like that. So even I had a yo-yo phase, believe it or not, in my life.
Did you eventually go to YouTube and look up like really high level Japanese yo-yo experts doing all kinds of crazy tricks?
No.
Yeah, I went through that phase, and that was what convinced me that I ain't gonna spend enough time to ever get that good. Gonna stop now.
That happened with me in ping pong in college, actually, because I thought I was like halfway decent.
Yeah.
And then my friend's like, "Yo, you're trash," and I was like, "All right, I might be trash, but I'm decent."
Right.
No, he's like,
Like,
"No,
no.
you're trash. Like, even for decent people, you're trash." And I was like, "Nah." And then he brought this like kid, and we were like from like his calculus class.
Okay.
The dude flipped the paddle upside down, and I should
Yeah,
have
he's
knew at that point that everything,
Right.
my whole life, my whole like ping pong life, like existence as I knew it was about to change.
Right.
This dude was like, I lost like 21, like 2.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure the 2 is just because he felt sorry for me, so he like hit it out. You know what I mean? Because he had been pinpoint the whole game, just whooping my behind.
That's another game that they use English on that ball, which I'm
Dude.
like, what the hell? How do you even do that stuff?
I'm just defending the whole
Right.
time.
Not even thinking about the offense.
Just like keep it in, just like don't just put the puck in the I think you call it what do you call it, the paddle in the way.
Yeah.
Just put the paddle in the way.
Right.
You know what I mean, one thing I wish I probably could have did was like play hockey.
Really?
Yeah, I used to like hockey a lot.
Like ice
actually.
skating?
I was never good at ice skating. I've actually never tried ice skating.
Rollerblade?
Yeah, bust my ass once, and I was like, I'm never trying ice skating. But like, I was like a little kid, so like when you're a little kid, you have a bad experience. You're like, no,
Right, exactly.
not doing that again. You know, I wish I had somebody to tell me like, hey, stop being a punk.
Right.
Right.
And just do it. Like learn how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have liked hockey a lot actually, because I love to watch hockey.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hockey's another one. I don't know if I know all the rules to hockey.
I don't really know all the rules. I just like watching it.
Yeah.
So like I will literally sit there. I don't know. I can't even tell you a rule right now other than don't hit the puck into your net.
Right. Yes.
You know,
Into the other guy's net.
But hockey's a lot easier to watch now than when I was younger because of all the technology allowing you to see
Yeah.
the puck now where
Right.
it's going on
Right.
the ring. Because I mean, when I
No,
was
it's hard to keep track of.
It's
Yeah.
hard to keep track
Yeah.
when we're like my dad used to not coach. He used to ref hockey and he used to like hockey, but when he used to have it on television or whatever, I was just like, I can't. How do you even know what's going on? Like who has? Everyone's just skating around, but you can't really see.
I know
where
the
it's
puck's
going.
somewhere over there because all
Yeah.
the people are going over
Right,
there.
exactly. But for the most part, it was hard to watch it,
Yeah.
like on
Well, you-
TV.
Well, you're in a great city to be watching hockey. You know, we got tons of Blackhawk fans getting very excited right now that we're
Why,
talking
what's
about
going
this.
on?
No, just in general that we've discussed hockey on the podcast here.
Is hockey big for us right now? For
Just
Chicago?
Chicago in general.
Oh, is it?
Like huge hockey town. Many,
Yeah.
Cool.
Many
I know
of my teammates.
We've won a few things in
Yeah.
Chicago, like the Blackhawks have won.
Yes.
But I don't know how the Chicago is it Chicago Wolves? They're another hockey
Yeah, the
team?
Wolves are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny. I don't even like look at hockey to like know anything about it.
just
I just
enjoy
watch it just to like watch it.
right. No, it's cool, and
Yeah.
and the fact that they're allowed to have fistfights is also.
Yeah, that's always a plus. Whenever you see somebody start fighting, that's always a
Yeah.
plus.
It's interesting. That's not like frowned upon.
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
part of the sport.
Like,
Like, yeah,
that's-
go knock each other's
But
teeth out.
you can't do it in football. You can't do it in basketball. Weird, right?
Little weird.
Car racing. You can't just get.
I
out of
feel
the
like
car.
football should allow fistfights, but you got to take
You
those
think
helmets off for
that
sure.
would be the one to do it more than anything.
I don't know, man.
No, no fist fights in football.
Those dudes are too big to be
Too jacked.
Yo, dude.
The hockey is like just a bunch of skinny white guys.
No, it's not even that, dude. It's like, could you imagine trying to pull Ndamukong Suh off of somebody?
I don't know who that guy is.
All right, so he's like a lineman. The dude's
Is he?
like 380 pounds. You're not gonna move that.
No.
He's like 6'8", 380. You know, what I
Jesus
mean?
Definitely, the refs are not breaking up those fights
Yeah.
if it
Like,
happens. Yeah,
seriously, like I don't know how big hockey players are on average.
I don't think they're that big.
well, John
But-
Mejia was an enforcer, so he's a
He's a big
fairly
guy.
enormous human being.
How big was he?
That's one of our buddies.
6'3", 2
All right, 6'3",
something.
2 something, right? Yeah. That's like the average football player.
Yeah,
Like that's not
average,
even
right?
impressive.
That's
Right.
a little guy football player.
Like you have football players who are 5'9", 230. That's like the average running back size.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I think Cam Newton's like what, 6'8",
I have no idea.
240 or something like that. Tom Brady's like 240, 230.
Are they really that big?
Yeah, these guys are
Damn.
Enormous.
huge.
Wow.
Football players
I didn't
are
realize that.
huge.
I guess I've never really seen a football player like
Tony Romo,
Live and in person.
live and in person. Yeah.
Tony Romo, I remember when he was playing for the Cowboys. He was like tiny, but he was big. You know, he's like 215, 220. I'm like, what? But he just looks so much smaller than everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everyone's so big,
And like
right?
those linemen, those guys are easily three something.
What do you walk around at?
Right now, I'm like 205.
Are you?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Like 6'2", 6'3".
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a pretty big guy.
After I do ADCC trials, I'll be back up to like 225, 230.
Why? What do you got to be at? For
I'm
ADCC?
going to do the 88 kilo division.
Okay.
So I will be back to eating
Whatever you
happily.
want.
Whatever I want. It's not even that I eat like, I kind of do eat crazy because I
Yeah.
like to eat a lot of pizza.
Pizza.
But, yeah.
Best.
But I just eat a lot.
Large volume of whatever it is.
A lot. And I don't know why. I just like don't feel satisfied. And I
Really?
just eat until I feel satisfied.
Damn.
And then by the time I feel satisfied, I'm down like 4 triple doubles.
But you train a lot, right? You're
Yeah.
in every day. You do 2-3 days?
It just depends, honestly. I'm like, I always do things relative to how I feel.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not gonna run myself into the ground.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
Yeah, good to know your body. Mm-hmm. Zito here also is a fan of eating in perhaps smaller quantities, but
Yeah, small quantities.
bothers the hell out of me that he can basically eat whatever the hell he wants, and I gotta be on a strict regiment, you know, or I'll blow up like a house. It doesn't matter how much I work out. If I'm having pizza as often as Zito has pizza, no. I'm like ultra heavyweight. Here I come.
Nah, you know something though, like I don't mind being at this weight though. Like it's not. It
Feels good.
Nah, it feels good. But I do like eating whatever I want when I want. I think like I'll go up and be fat for a little bit and then go back down before the season starts again. For me at least.
Where do you see yourself going in the future? Like, as you progress, you see yourself going in the bigger divisions, or you want to stay
Probably just a heavyweight.
heavyweight?
Yeah, like 208.
Yeah.
210. Maybe if I get tired of like staying at 210, then I'll just do super heavy.
Yeah.
But nothing that I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna be an ultra heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the gi. Those guys are huge.
Yeah.
I think like I would be like I'm a small super heavy,
Okay.
you know, even though like sometimes like I have to cut for super heavy. Like when I was in brown belt, I was like having to lose a little bit of weight for super heavy. But I was still like a smaller super heavy. Those guys were like pretty big, pretty strong. So I don't think I'd ever go like past that.
Right.
Anybody you looking at fighting soon that you know? No one really?
No. I
Looking
don't
forward
know.
to anything?
I just look forward to winning.
That's it?
That's it. Like,
You don't
I'm-
like look forward to like certain matches or with certain people?
no.
Well, he's got
Like in division?
you got a fight to win match coming up. So imagine
Yeah.
you're looking forward to that one.
I am.
Well, I'm saying for like in ADCC, you're like, wow, man, you know,
You're
as the
hoping that-
brackets come out, you're like, fuck, I hope I get that guy, or I hope, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter to you.
No, it doesn't. I don't know if that's the wrong thing to say.
No,
per se,
just
but
how you feel.
I've never really,
Thought
even
about it.
like to this day, like I've never really like been like, oh, I really have to fight this, or I really want to fight this guy.
Yeah.
Like there are guys that I know are tough, and I guess in my mind is like, I want to win, and in order to win, you're gonna have to fight the best guys.
Right.
So like, I don't really worry about who I'm fighting. I just kind of focus on. Just
Do you
going out there and
train
winning.
based on the brackets or based on the person? Or you just train your game? Your game
No.
is your game.
Yep.
You don't roll tape on certain people or anything like that. Because you pretty much know a lot of people's game. You've been in it for a while.
No,
But like training with like the Meow Brothers and their game and seeing how they do things, their game is sick. And I saw them at the Chicago Open, and it's just what they do is just like, it seems so like precise. Like they have a set in their mind. This is what they're going to do. This is the time they do it in, and then they just execute it at will.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Is yours similar to that?
I think it's hard to answer a little bit. I can say this, right? I don't really look at the bracket and then say I need to go study this guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've never really done that. I probably won't do that much even now. And even the guys that you do come across, especially now, like you kind of like, especially even that purple and brown belt, you kind of knew about what the guy was going to do, like you said before.
Yeah.
You just kind of like prepare to like stay out of their best positions.
I see.
But I don't really go too crazy studying tape or even watching brackets.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I kind of just worry about myself. 'Cause I think a lot of people psych themselves out when they worry about like, oh, I'm gonna fight this guy. I have to do this. I have to do that.
Right.
And then you don't fight the guy.
Right.
You know, the guy loses like the second fight. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, how many times there's been plenty of tournaments where like a big name guy gets bumped the first round. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, like you look at the black belt worlds and stuff like that. You know, guys get bumped early, and if you're on the other side and you're like, oh, I'm gonna fight Cobrinha, or if you're Cobrinha, you're gonna fight like Hoffa or something like that. You know, people lose. I'm not saying it's either of these guys. I'm just using like big names because like, you know, people lose. You know, and then 1 year, you know, then you have a guy like Marcel Andre in the final. You know, instead, and then like if you're not prepared, if you're spending all your time focusing on one person, you know, it can, I don't know, it can just like can catch you off guard. I think it's better to be. I always like have this like philosophy that, you know, like I'm rigid and like my vision, you know, like my goals, but flexible in the approach.
I see.
You know what I mean? So like, I need to train hard. I need to focus on making sure that I'm in the best shape that I can possibly be to compete.
Right.
And you know, and to do well, to give a good performance. But I'm going to be flexible in how I allow my mind to like think about, you know, the actual process of competing. You know what I mean?
good.
So instead of focusing on I got to fight this guy, I got to fight that guy, I'm just going to enjoy the opportunity in the moment kind of thing. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to go out there and if the guy's like really good at reverse Del Hiva, just step my foot into the reverse Del Hiva. Of course not.
Right.
But I refuse to waste, you know, like hours of sleep trying to, you know, like game
Look
plan.
for every advantage. Yeah.
Because, and then even at the highest levels, you have guys who are 1 year doing one thing and then the next year
Switch
they've got
up.
like this completely different guard game. I mean, like how many guys, you know, spent years studying the Meows like Barambola game and then they come and start smash bashing everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people change, people are constantly developing.
Yeah.
So I think, for me at least, if I spend time trying to worry about the next guy, I'm taking away time and energy, you know, building myself up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just focus on myself. That's why I don't really, even now, like you're asking, who would you think about fighting? I don't got anything to say or think about anybody because I can honestly say that I'm just focused on myself.
So your focus is, the goal is, you know, doing the super fight, doing ADCC trials. That's your focus for the end of the year. And next year is whatever you focus on next year. That's good. There's nothing wrong with
Next year's
that.
Worlds. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do every major tournament leading up to it, but, you know, the focus isn't to like, you know, I need to beat such and such guy. Because, look, you go fight, you know, world champion XYZ and beat him first round, but you lose to, you know, some nobody in the finals. What good did that do you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there are always guys coming out like that out of the woodwork. So I'm not more so worried about what other people bring to the table. I'm worrying about what I bring to the table and constantly, you know, building off of my past performances so that I do a better job in the future. You know, if somebody stopped me from getting to, you know, a certain position, I need to make sure that I can deal with that sort of reaction, as opposed to worrying about, hey, this guy's really good at knee cuts. I got to play on my left side because he can't pass to the right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna worry about it. I don't got time for that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But that's just me. Other people are very methodical like that. But
there's some people, hey, man.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, we do these podcasts, we have people on. It's just nice to hear, you know, everyone's philosophy. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own approach differently. And it's good for, you know, our listeners and for everyone out there, whoever, you know, listens to us, and they're like, oh, wow, I never thought about it that way. Or there's always more than one way to skin a cat, you know, and the way to think about things. And it's good, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's cool. Awesome. All right, I know we got to get going. I know we had a short time period here. But appreciate you coming on, man. It's been
Thank
cool
you for
meeting
having
you.
me.
And then once I heal up, then maybe you and I can roll a little bit.
Yeah, you guys should come visit us on the East Coast.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'd love to.
Yeah, what's Unity's drop-in policy like?
No, everybody's welcome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did a private out here because Meow, both of them stayed by Mineko when they were in town last year, and I did a private with them, and they're awesome, man. Those guys are just
dope.
How good is their English, though? Pretty good.
I don't know, dude.
Better than they let on?
Better than they let on?
I don't know.
Sometimes it's like, I know that they would speak Portuguese to, you know, who were
Andre,
there. And then I know they understood what I was saying, but they wouldn't really speak English directly to. It's more like, hey, okay, just keep going. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. You know, I try to speak with them in Portuguese, actually.
Do you speak Portuguese?
Not well, but I'm trying to learn.
You're trying to learn? Oh, that's cool.
So,
Yeah.
like, I try to speak, like, we try to help each other, everybody at the gym does, you know.
That's
like,
nice.
if you're speaking English and you're trying to learn Portuguese, you try to speak Portuguese with the Brazilians.
Yeah.
And, you know, at times you try to help them work on their English.
That's
so
good.
we're all becoming bilingual.
Nice.
Good way to be.
Some of us trilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I have a friend, he's one of the guys that trains at the gym, Babylonia.
Okay.
Babby speaks, like, you know, like 4 languages, you know, like.
That's incredible. That's so
I'm not
impressive to
mistaken,
me.
because he knows, like, how to speak. He can speak Spanish. He can speak Portuguese, English, and I think he was, like, trying to learn French not too long ago or something like that. You know,
Incredible.
Yago does too. Yago knows a lot of languages.
Yeah.
Yago doesn't train with us much anymore, but he's another one of the guys that.
Does Leandro Lowe still train with you guys?
No, not really. He has Brotherhood down in Brazil, but he pops in every now and again.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. You've drove with him, I'm sure, many times.
No comment.
Awesome, man. Where can people find you? On Instagram, Facebook, where?
Facebook and Instagram. Facebook under my actual name, and you know, Instagram is under Bones BJJ.
Nice.
And you can follow my gym too, Unity BJJ NJ.
And that's New Jersey, right?
Yes, in New Jersey.
Nice, nice. How big is that gym?
It's a small gym. We're still growing, but
Okay.
our kids team is really, really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like really good.
Nice,
Like I took
nice.
like 14 kids to Kids Pants, which is like the best kids tournament in the world, and 13 of them placed.
Really?
9 of them won,
Wow.
and the rest were like I had 1 bronze and 2 silvers, I think, or something like that.
Beautiful.
But like they were cleaning house.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
And the adults
awesome.
are coming along too. You know,
Good,
so
man.
it's just that stuff just takes time, but we're
Yeah.
having fun with the process.
Cool.
And
Yep.
and when you're in Chicago, where are you planning on visiting most often?
I train everywhere, actually. You know, I train with Antoine at Fumasa BJJ. I have my friends out. Well, actually, they're not in Chicago. They're in Wisconsin. But I guess most of the time when I'm here, I train with Fumasa. Sometimes Carl's and Gracie guys.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you for
All right.
having me.
We'll see you guys.
Can I thank
go
my
ahead.
sponsor,
Yeah, please do.
Moya Brand, my teammates, Unity Jiu-Jitsu, Unity NJ, and Fumasa for having me out here for a seminar, and you guys for having me on.
Sure, man. No
Pleasure's
problem.
all ours.
Anytime, man. All right, we'll see you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Very Hard to Submit. Go to vhtsny.com and check out their kimonos, compression gear, and apparel. This is a brand we are excited to be supported by. Their gear is high quality with a clean design. Go to vhtsny.com and see for yourself. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right?
Oh.